Hey everybody, Sabi here for the Bitcoin update. Hopefully this goes in a different direction than I'm seeing the stock market go in, but I'm sure they'll be somewhat tied together if you do have a reversal in play here on the Dow Jones. That may be coming this week. Um, Currently, the pattern that I'm kind of watching for is a repeat of the start of this to come up here and grab this liquidity at, say, 102, 103 has been my anticipation. And that would just be mimicking the consolidation that we had here, right here, expecting the same way that it started for it to finish in a similar manner, grabbing this liquidity up here. That can be seen as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in Elliott wave terms. Doesn't bother me to see it that way. Uh, Not that I would trade Elliott Wave, but it's good to have Elliott Wave setups. But what that could be in Elliott Wave terms is some kind of three wave here, and then this is your A, this is a B, this is a C. So this being A, this would be your B wave, and a potential for my favorite date, May 24th. To have a low that could come to the 1-to-1 fib extension, 67,000. If you do see 67,000 that just so happens to land on May 24th, it's probably going to end up being a buy setup or look for an uptrend to start out of there, as kind of seeing, especially if the Dow Jones and S&P 500 start turning down this week, then I would think this is going to come up, grab this liquidity, and reverse sharply into a sell, into something that looks pretty crashy. It might be this type of move, just seemingly very accelerated. So manage risk appropriately if you are in the market. Know your invalidations. Currently, we do have the daily candles that are making higher highs, and this is your higher low. This I'm anticipating to continue higher highs, higher lows, and a higher high just to take out this liquidity. Also got to keep in mind what I've been tracking for months now, I think. And this is the way I usually kind of see my trade setups. Basically, it's the box method that I've kind of used for years, where you have a consolidation liquidity grab. Once you get back into that consolidation, technically your target should be the highs or a break of liquidity above the highs. I don't know that we'll get that crazy here, but it'd be reasonable to expect this liquidity, especially since the market kind of grabbed right there on April 25th. It grabbed that liquidity from March 3rd, March 2nd. You took out that liquidity and then continued another push. So that kind of is alluding to, I want upper liquidity. I want this stuff up here above 100K. And now you have a double top. I don't like shorting double tops because you're building liquidity up there. But you're also building liquidity down below. So if the price was to come back to previous support, I would look for an uptrend to start out of here, somewhere around 91,000. I think everybody's kind of looking at that level as well. There's some people that are saying just crash it. But if I would look for a buy setup in this market, I would want it to hold like 91, 200, where it was holding previously, and then push up to all-time high. And hey, maybe you get that from here with FOMC news. I think Camel Finance is kind of anticipating that. Maybe you get this ABC, the sharp decline. I wouldn't like a daily close below there, but as long as it comes back and closes a higher high, I suppose it's fine. But once you close a lower low, you need to be on the watch for a lower high at 95,000 area, kind of where the top of this consolidation was before. Expect something kind of head and shoulders pattern or whatever. You probably get some supply coming in there. But I would like to see liquidity taken above 100K before anticipating more down, potentially into this May 24th idea, which hopefully I will make a video on, around the 20th, 21st of May. If we're getting price action that I'm expecting down, I'll definitely make a video on that. I don't want to panic anybody just yet, but it's very interesting findings that I've noticed almost a year ago now. I'll probably have that up on Slice towards the end of this week and share it with the Slice community first. Give them a little advanced video, but I'll plan on sharing that as well with YouTube, just because I think it's a very interesting metric and could potentially be a great buying opportunity that comes out of May 24th, and show the reasons why. Speaking of Slice, let's jump over there now. The screen is going to be white, so shield your eyes. So here's the Slice profile. Have it set up now. It's all launched. You can check it out. I'll try to put another link in the description so that you guys can follow the link. But yeah, I've been posting in here. I post quite a bit anytime I have a thought. There's a trade that was taken in there. So the trades are taken in real time, clear invalidations. You can follow along. You can ask questions as to why I entered, what's the reasoning for the invalidation. Had this potential sell setup that now got invalidated. So that's good. Once you have an invalidation of a sell setup, it's usually a buy. Posted a video on here of, if you do have a sell setup, what to look for. That was like a 3-minute video or something like that I posted this morning. Was it this morning? Yeah, 16 hours ago. So I posted a video giving the buy setup there at the 4-hour order block, to push higher into upper liquidity, which I ended up getting. So did not get the sell setup, so happy days. This was a Wyckoff setup that I shared yesterday in anticipation of a potential break of the low. The spring did not come down as far as I would like, but it certainly stopped me out because I was long from, I think it was 94. Yeah, around the daily open, because it closed a 15-minute higher high. Then I went into drawdown, went into profit, and then it stopped me out, and then it came right back. So I just entered this same position I entered over there, entered it again on a 4-hour order block, and same stop loss basically. It was just like $200 lower, and the trade played out. So this is what I'm doing in Slice. I'm updating in real time as the waves are moving, given buy and sell setups, areas to take profit, where supply would be coming in, where demand would be coming in. Just as the thoughts come, I post on there. It's really easy for me to update here and post ideas of what I'm seeing. Currently, I'm looking at a buy setup at, well, the 382 and the 0.5 fib retrace, which, let's jump on the chart and I'll show you what I'm looking at. So we'll look here on the 1-hour chart. I think that was the chart that was posted on Slice. By the way, Slice still offering that 30% discount on any subscriptions up until Friday at midnight, which I think that's the European time at midnight. So it may end up being Thursday evening in the US. So get it while it's hot, while you still get 30% discount. And after that, I don't know when there would be another discount. So we're just going to let it run until basically Friday at midnight, and then it'll be gone. So the trade setup that I'm looking at is sort of an Elliott wave trade setup. I'm just looking at higher highs and higher lows here, and my invalidation is the top of this structure here, which I would count as my wave 1. So we'll take a measurement with a Fibonacci extension tool for a potential wave 1 into a wave 2. So now you notice the wave came to the 1.618 extension of that. So that could be a wave 1. 2, and 3, after you have an expansive move like this, what you generally see is a 50% retrace from wave 2 to the top of wave 3. We will go to the 382 to the zero point 0.5 fib retrace. As you can see, we played around the 382. This is probably going to flag out for a wave 4 consolidation into FOMC, and then expect the volatility to take it where it needs to go. So expecting some kind of box to be played in here before a little bit of continued upside. I am expecting those highs to be taken. Current target for this little Elliott wave is, I do believe, 90. Yeah, it's 99,230 up at the 2.618 is technically the target, which I think there's historical resistance there. I posted that on Slice, but you would count that as potentially a wave 1, 2, 3, somewhere around here, 96,000 area. I'd expect after this consolidation completes, and then a pop up there to complete this wave setup. And as with any decent trading system, the invalidation, an Elliott wave is the top of wave 1. You don't want to see price come into wave 1 territory. That would be showing weakness. That is 95,162 would be the stop loss on that. So a buy set up at 96, stop loss at 95, and see if it goes. Locally right here, you did close a higher high. Clean this up a little bit. So from there to there, you closed a higher high. There's your low. Expect a higher low to come in right around there. If price does come down to 95,000, gets back into this consolidation, that's showing weakness. If this price wants to go up and I want to buy it, I want to buy the strength. I want this to remain strong. I want to high and tight and continue pushing. This pattern could be this being your ABC here, and we might be about to repeat this crap over here before continuing up. That would be like a timing based cycle low. So we got to move and shake with what the market does. But for now, making higher highs, higher lows, continuing the upward sloping potential reaccumulation in this area that could continue higher, or watch for the FOMC and the stock market, the indexes to bring the markets all down. You might have a swing failure pattern just under 100K, sharp rejection. It's kind of a contested area, 99,000 to 100,000. You'd expect some supply there. There's liquidity above there, so it might get a little bit above there. But once you get everybody really bullish above 100K, you're going to have too many longs coming into the market, and they're probably going to bring it back down. Unless if you just keep getting supply, and the market maker has to keep absorbing that supply, they'll keep marking it up to offload it at a later date. But in any market, I want to buy strength if I want to buy. I want to sell weakness, I want to buy strength. That goes with any market and all markets. Whenever you're showing weakness and you're at the lows, you don't necessarily want to buy until you have something that's a show of strength, something that's doing a change in behavior, which this was coming down a little bit sideways, came down. This consolidation was a change in behavior. It was either a consolidation before continuation or a reversal, and it gave you a nice reversal. But the same thing goes for this entire rally from 74,000. You have some strength here. You don't want to give up that strength. Like, I guess the consensus is, hey, I want a three-wave pullback back down to this area or this area, then I'll buy a 618 retrace. But if the market has intention to go up, it's going to remain strong and it's going to stay strong, and you need to learn to enter into trending markets. Not to say that the trend isn't going to reverse, you just need to know your invalidation. And currently my invalidation is 95,000. If 95,000 is taken out, I would expect this liquidity to be taken all the way down to the wick there at 91.6, 91, maybe as low as 91,200 to take all that liquidity. So that's the Bitcoin idea slash rant for today. Watch for some volatility tomorrow. You might end up popping up, popping down, and then closing in the same area, or popping down and popping up, closing back in the same area. Just pay attention to your trend, know your invalidation, and if it ends up being a loss via your stop loss, take the small loss. Look for the next setup. And if you need help getting setups on Bitcoin, join me on Slice and see what it's all about. I think you should go check out Slice anyway. You've got some great analysts in there that offer free, well, 1 out of 5 messages are free. And Tony the Bull Severino has a really great video on the Hearst cycles on Bitcoin. Something to pay attention to that I thought was really, really interesting. And it's there for free. Um, you don't need a paid subscription because 1 out of 5 messages ends up being free for all participants. And for my profile, for my subscription, the 30% is you got 2 more days left on it, and then it's gone. So support my work and learn how to trade setups the way that I trade them. Ask questions. Let's build a community. Till then, keep your stops tight. Have a good night. My stop's at 95.